Hello, my name's Dave. I'm 37 years old and I'm a musician from Cambridge. I run a little business and also a little arts organisation. And if you're watching this, I'm in prison for a short period, and that's because I chose to disrupt my trial at the City of London Magistrates Court on the 22nd of April 2021, which also happens to be Earth Day. And I was arrested in September 2020 as part of the Extinction Rebellion. Then I was sitting in the road with a few other people in Parliament Square, and I was in the road because I was calling on the government to take meaningful action on the climate and ecological emergency. I was lucky enough to be also in London in April 2019 with the amazing Pink Boat. And then Parliament did declare a climate emergency, and Michael Gove was on the record saying, "We've got the message." And like what's happened since then, we've had HS2, which is the largest deforestation project since World War One, decimating the beautiful English countryside. We've got Heathrow expansion as well going through, both of those things sanctioned by the British courts. We've got coal mines, and I mean the list goes on. But also with COVID, it's very clear the plan is not to have a green recovery. It's all about the fossil fuel economy. Emissions are back where they were pre-pandemic, and they're increasing. So we are not moving in the right direction. And I was in the road because people are dying and life is dying right now. This is not this argument of necessity, which is not being heard by the courts. It's not some abstract legal argument. It's there because we're trying to protect life. In London, 4,000 people are dying a year due to toxic air quality, a lot of them young people. Lovely little Ella, who died in 2013, 9-year-old, she has it on her coroner's report. And how many other young people have died since then? Around the world. I've been lucky enough to live in Indonesia, and they're on the front line of climate change. Jakarta is sinking. They've got serious weather events that are killing people. The orangutans may be extinct within 10 years. Whatever it is that speaks to you, it's happening. 250,000 people die there every year due to toxic air quality. And so this argument of necessity is real and needs to be heard. And the insidiousness of the courts at the moment is that they are saying, we don't deny that climate change is happening and that it's a threat, but this is not the place to make that argument. So they're taking our motivations and our intent completely out of the picture and just saying you're guilty because you sat in the road or you did this or you did that. And that is, well, history will show that is just criminality in its extreme. And the policing and the courts are complicit with the government in their climate denial agenda at the moment. So in my trial, it's an interesting one because there's a technical argument, which may be that the reason why I was arrested, the policing section 14, may not be valid. So I could be technically innocent on that regard, and there's a solicitor that will be arguing that case for me. But at this point, there's bigger things that afoot, bigger things that matter. And I'm going to disrupt the courts anyway, because this argument of necessity needs to be heard, and we need to speak we need to speak truth to power at every opportunity we can. So I will disrupt my trial. I will be sent down. I'll then be given the opportunity to apologise to the judge. And rather than say sorry, I'm going to not apologise and ask for the maximum sentence, which is 28 days in prison and a £2,500 fine. And I'm doing that not because I'm brave or I want to sort of take the judge on, be clever. It's because I want to send a message to the courts that I'm not afraid now. This is too important, and they can do whatever they like. They can throw me in jail for a month or a year or 2 years. It doesn't matter. We're all going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep fighting for the future generations and for action to be taken so that we can avoid what scientists are saying is coming down the road, which is billions of people starving to death, and the associated wars and famine and rape that will take place as well. So that's what I'm going to do, and it's really fine for me to do that. I'm well resourced to be able to do that, and it's nothing compared with what other people are doing around the world right now on the front line. People are being murdered. There are people protecting the Amazon, protecting rainforests in Indonesia, in the Congo. It's everywhere, and this is something that I can do, and I will gladly do it. And I suppose the last thing I just want to say is that people have said to me, "Oh, what about your DBS check or your career or anything like that?" And my work has always been about working with mostly young people in challenging circumstances, in prisons and in schools, and also in some of the most sensitive hospital wards in the country. And it's always been about looking after people's well-being and care, and I see what I'm doing here as a total extension of that. There's no difference. That's my intention. I'm not motivated out of despair or hatred even. I'm doing it to safeguard the future generations. And when I get my DBS back and it says, oh, Section 14 or contempt of court, I will look at that and think, yeah, that's duty of care in action. And it will be for others to explain why that is not an appropriate response at this point. So I'm standing by what I do, and I'm very proud of this action, and also all the other people who are stepping up as well. And I just want to finish by just giving a quote, actually, which is by a guy called Mario Savio, who was a American student activist. He was involved in civil rights, and this is it. There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart, that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus. You've got to make it stop, and you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you are free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. And this won't be the last time that I take this kind of action. I will do it again and again and again until we start to see things change. And I'm very, very happy to do that. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Have a lovely day. This court is complicit in ecocide. This court is complicit in ecocide. How dare you? Shame on you. There is necessity needs to be heard. I'm glued on. So please don't touch me. I'm glued on. You've got to hear. You've got to hear this. You've got to hear this. I'm glued on. Yeah, I don't know. Who are you? You haven't identified yourself.
Police officer, give me your phone. Thank you.